Have you ever considered to donate money, but then you didn't because you didn't trust the organization where you wanted to donate to? Yeah, so that was me. So I ended up not ever really donating money, though I have some money and I can do some good, right? But I recently came across an opportunity to donate where I can make 100% sure that the money actually reaches the ones in need. And it is an orphanage in Chiang Mai. That's where I live, in Thailand, in the north of Thailand, high up in the mountains. 22 kids living under very simple conditions. And my mate is going there regularly. This is how I got the contact. This is how I knew about them. And I went there today to check the place out. And 2 weeks before that, I posted about it on social media, and a lot of people messaged me and were like, hey, I want to give some money. So this grew quickly. We now have a little bit over $3,000 collected, and more people are coming in. And I went there today to check it out. And I recorded a video for the private WhatsApp group that I created for everyone who donated, because we're going to make sure that we as a collective decide what we want to do with the money and where the money goes. And I will personally take care of making sure the money actually goes to the kids. The video that I recorded today is about what I saw there. It's really, really interesting. I had no idea how orphan kids live in the mountains of Chiang Mai. If you're from the West, you're going to say, oh, wow, that is absolutely crazy. So watch it. It's very interesting to see what they need, how the conditions are, and what the whole situation is like. And the video I recorded is for my WhatsApp group. If you want to join, please reach out. Again, 100% of the money that is donated goes to the kids. There's someone checking what I do. Everything is very transparent. And my email is in my bio. That's probably the easiest way. But for now, watch the video and see what life is like for an orphan in Chiang Mai, and what are the things that they need, what are the living conditions, and what is something where we think we can, or what I suggest what we should be doing. Enjoy the video. Cheers. What's up, guys? Okay, I went to the orphanage and I want to give you an update. I spent about an hour there. I asked a lot of questions. I took a lot of notes, and also I took a lot of pictures. So here I'm going to walk you through what I have. I had a few questions in mind before I went there, and it was basically, what do they want to do with the cash if we donated any cash? What do the organizers think they need? What do the kids think they need? What do we think they need is what we want to come to a conclusion as, right? And then generally, how are the living conditions and who are the organizers? And then also I wanted to look at details like, where do the organizers live? How do they live? What car do they drive? What kind of jewelry do they wear, right? Because we want to make sure that money that is donated actually goes where it should. And spoiler alert, everything looks very, very good. I think this is a really good cause to invest into, or not invest to donate to. And let me walk you through all the things that I put together here. First of all, the orphanage itself, run by a couple. They have a son, and it's a private institution. It's my understanding that they receive zero government support here in Thailand. They bought the land, they built all the houses where they live step by step, and they still pay off the land. And the couple actually lives on the property, which I find pretty cool. So it's not that they live somewhere else in like a fancy house. No, they all live under the exact same conditions. The couple and their son lives in one single room, basically next to the room where the girls live. And basically managing this is a full-time activity. It was my understanding that they do nothing else and have no other jobs, which makes a lot of sense. With 22 kids, that's a full-time job. They have 2 cars. They have a very old pickup truck. It's not the one in the picture. It's the one, theirs is hidden behind that car that you can see here. And the car you see here is the car that they use. It's a 12-seater. It's the car that they use to give the kids a lift to the school every day. And it's 22 kids in a 12-seater. So that's the reality here, but it seems to work. They got 12 girls and 10 boys, and they live separately. They also have separate bathrooms and toilets, which is nice. They do have a separate kind of room, like a really big open kitchen, nothing fancy, spoiler again. And they have like a common room that they can use when it's rainy season. They can be sitting outside. Also, they have a study room with computers and books. And besides that, they grow some basic food like bamboo and some vegetables. They have 2 chickens, but yeah. First question, what do they say that they do with the donations? That was one of the big questions that I had, because when we first reach out, and I'm going to scroll down in the document here, this is translated from Thai, but this is what they asked for. And they mainly asked for money and food. And I was like, well, okay, but how do I know you actually use that money for food and scholarships or whatever? So that's my main question that I had. And the answer makes a lot of sense. Most of the money that they receive from donations goes into the school fees. They have to pay 2,200 baht for, I believe it's the high school setup per kid per semester. That's just the school fee. It's not free apparently like in other countries. And they have to get the kids to school, which would cost money just for the gas. And then additionally, the high school kids don't have lunch at school, which means that they need lunch money, which is, they give them 35 baht. It's $1. So it's not a lot of money, but with 22 kids, you do the math, it does add up. So this is where their demand of receiving money comes from. In my opinion, makes a lot of sense after what I've seen. The most interesting one for me was to see what do the kids actually say what they need. And we approached them directly. I speak some Thai, and we asked them, what do we actually want? What do you actually need? And I kind of expected like fancy things like computers, smartphones. But the very first answer I got from multiple kids was underwear. They want underwear. And then other things were, they said they need sanitary pads. The girls said that. The girls want lotion and cosmetic products, very basic things. But those are the things you don't buy first when you don't have enough money, right? You buy food, you buy school first, and shelter, I guess. So these are the things they can't afford or rarely can afford. So these are the things they dream of. They want colored pens to do their homework, to draw, especially the younger ones. They want pencils, A4 paper, like very basic things. And they want a printer and more computers. More to this topic later. And then what the organizers say they need, apart from money, we went to different topics, definitely computers. They have 3 computers currently for 15 kids. Kind of tricky is the fact that it's not laptops, it's like old school computers, actual computers, and during rainy season with the power cuts, very often they can't use them. So they did ask for a big battery to basically help them go through the time when there's no electricity available. They also mentioned a solar panel would be great. And they don't have a printer, and the kids and the organizers both said that that's something they really want to have and need. Here's a picture of what their study room looks like. Looks like a simple classroom. One kid was using it at a time. It was a Saturday, so yeah, that makes sense. They did get their homework done already. But yeah, those are the old computers. And next topic we went through was phones. That was something that I initially thought would be something we should do, like make sure the older kids have access to a smartphone, just to have access to modern technology. And you know, when they exit high school, have the same or similar opportunities like other kids. Interesting enough, this was not a demand at all. The older kids do have smartphones. In fact, they're needed for homework, for school. They have 5 smartphones, and 1 is shared for all the others. They didn't say they need it anymore, so I think that's fine. Generally needed any kind of sports item, sports activity. They have a table tennis table, and it was in frequent use the whole time while we were there. It was like the highlight. It seemed newer, so I guess it was just donated. They do have a very large outdoor area. This is the outdoor area. It's very uneven, so not ideal to play any sports on it. However, they did ask for a volleyball kind of setup, which I think is a good idea. In a future step, we could potentially pay someone to even out the ground. They also talked about creating a proper volleyball field kind of ground where they just remove the dirt and just put like little stones or something. So that's kind of what they're looking for. Next up, we're going to look at how they actually sleep and live. This is the girls' room, 12 girls in this. I would say it's 35, 40 square meters, but I'm not sure. very crowded, very overcrowded. They don't have enough space. They don't have enough wardrobes. They don't have enough cabinets. They don't have enough fans. There's no AC, but that is normal in villages in Thailand, so that should not be a goal here. This is what the bathroom looks like. Also very basic, but at least it's separate from the boys. I guess that's good. Since this is so overcrowded and they're just taking so many more kids in, they're building a new room. So they're building a new room next door. That's what it looks like. This is the guy, by the way. So he's building it himself. They only get contractors when there's something very specific to be done, which they can't do, like building the floor foundation. That's something he can't do. All the other stuff he does by himself. They currently stopped the construction at this exact point because they can't afford to buy the windows. They have all the stones already, but they don't have money to buy the windows, so they stopped until they have money for the windows so they can proceed, because the previous rooms don't really have windows, and that's something they want to fix for the future rooms because they say windows would be nice. I do agree. I asked how much would it be to complete the whole thing, and they sat down, calculated it. I got a whole list in Thai, what they think they would spend the money for, and they said it's 47.5K, 1.5K USD very roughly here. Yeah, so this is just one more thing that is going on there. Next up, we looked at the kitchen and the common room. For those of you living in the West, you're going to say, oh my God, and yes, it was dirty, but remember, we're in Thailand. Like, many of the restaurants where I go to look like this. So I think the kitchen is fine. The fridge is way too small. The freezer is way too small. But adding a bigger fridge also means adding more electricity, which is an additional cost for them. So I don't think they want that right now. However, bigger fridge is something we could consider in the future. I don't think we should consider it now. This is their common room, just a room where they have shelter when it's raining outside, playroom, common room, whatever you want to call it, one TV. They do have Wi-Fi, by the way, 3 guitars, which I think is really cool. So back to what they originally asked, and now I want to talk about what I think we should do. And this is really just my initial thought. I want your feedback. I want your input. I want your ideas. First of all, I think we should do what the kids wished for, which was underwear, very basic. Here's what it costs in Thailand per piece on a Thai local market. It needs to fit, so that's not something we can buy. It's something where we need to give them a budget, meaning cash donation. I'm just suggesting 6,000 baht here. I think that would be a nice, it would be enough for now. Like, it's a good start. Sanitary products for the girls, it's a no-brainer. It costs a lot of money. A product that I know a lot about, especially when it comes to the price. Did a quick research. I do think we can assume an average of 2 to 8 baht per piece, depending on the product, size, and whatever. They do need realistically between 50 and 70 pieces per month. So a nice 6 months runway, I think, would be nice. We can also do a lot more. I would say just go to a big store, buy big packages, boxes of sanitary hats, which is what they use here. Tampons are not very common. Suggesting 4K total, 4K Thai baht total here. Lotion, skincare, just random big boxes of random products. I think good idea here. And then obviously colored pens, pencils, easy stuff. So all in, I assigned 15,000 Thai baht here, which I think is a good idea. Then computers, we have one already, which was a physical donation. And then I would suggest 3 more. That's a total of 4. I would suggest to skip their demand for a battery simply because it's very expensive. The 3 computers they have, they would need a proper sized battery. I think a better use is having more laptops over the long run. There's a battery inside. We're going to get laptops that are not obviously not the best of the best, but just good enough, assuming 7K per laptop. But again, I don't know exactly. I need to research. Printer, maybe 4K. So I just put 30K total budget here. The way I would approach this is that we roughly agree on it, and then I start purchasing, and I just write everything down with invoices, obviously, what I spend, and then we can see where we are. But I think this is a rough and very good estimate and a good investment in their future. Sport items, could just get the volleyball field. I looked it up, about 4K, it's mobile. That's without cleaning out the area, which is also something that I will look into. And then we got multiple items. I would just buy small stuff just to keep them entertained. there was not much to do. It's in the mountains. I would suggest card games, board games, a couple of books, stuff like this. 3K total here. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of budget left. I want to discuss actually paying for the next room, for the room they're building. I do have a lot of trust in the setup. I do have a lot of trust in that couple, simply because I saw how they live. It's not that they're trying to get anything out of this. They have very basic living conditions themselves, slightly better than the kids. The only thing that's better is they only share a room with their son. So 3 people in one room instead of 12 in one room, or 10 for the boys. Again, lots of trust in the setup. My mate has been going there for years, helping them out. I think it's a really good cause to donate into. And one cool story that I want to tell, I did talk to the oldest girl. She's 17, and she will finish high school next year, and she wants to go to universities. That was my question. What's your plan? Like, what's the chance these kids actually have? And yes, she wants to go to university. It's not an easy setup. She wants to try. She wants to learn Chinese and languages. And just a rough estimation here, what university costs in Thailand means, you're going to be looking at roughly 8K tuition fee per semester. You're going to have a dormitory, probably live in a dormitory for 2 to 3K a month. And again, reminder, 1,000 baht is $30, so you can do the math. And then roughly probably the minimum to survive, including being able to pay those fees, 7,000 baht a month. And then a part-time job for students is starting at 50 baht an hour. It's $1.50, maybe up to 100 baht if you're lucky. So it's doable. But just mentioning this here, so if anyone's interested, there are options for sponsorships. You can sponsor kids directly. I'm happy to make an intro also to the orphanage directly or to specific kids. There are options to take over monthly fees for the kids, just for the expenses that the orphanage has. It's not a lot of money. All the amounts are here. So if any of this should interest you, just reach out to me personally, and happy to set it up. You can pay them directly or through us. I do not care. All of this is possible. Thank you again for being awesome. If you have any question, then reach out, and all the details we're going to discuss in the WhatsApp group that we have. Cheers.